If you turn on any streaming television or social media, you're bombarded by the constant images of what millionaires supposedly look like. Fancy cars, big homes, and even bigger toys. But how much of this is actually true? Do real millionaires actually live like this? Or is this just a small subset of the actual millionaire population? Or worse yet, are people who are showcasing this perception of wealth actually not wealthy at all? Hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Tay from Financial Tortoise, where we learn to grow our wealth slow and steady. Media has a way of warping reality. You watch enough TV and you start to believe what's on screen actually represents what's happening in the real world. But if you've been around the block, you know how untrue this is. Based on Ocean's 11, you think everyone who visits the Bellagio looks like Julia Roberts. This isn't true. I was just there. Based on movies, you think all former soldiers know how to karate chop their way out of any situation. Again, not true. I spent 6 years in the army, and I'm pretty sure I can't do what Jack Reacher can do. In the same way, when it comes to wealth, based on television and media, we believe that wealthy individuals have certain lifestyle spending habits. Well, don't be shocked by this news, but real millionaires actually don't live like what we see on TV. Actually, what is worse is most often people who are most showy, wanting to be perceived as being wealthy, are not wealthy at all. They're driving around leased luxury cars, living in highly leveraged mansion homes, and dressing up in fancy clothes via their credit card debt. Remember the old saying our mother told us when we were young? Don't believe everything you see on TV? It's a hard pill to swallow, but she was correct. Alright, with that said, let's get into what real millionaires actually spend their money on. To assist this, I'll be referencing Dr. Thomas Stanley's 2009 book, Stop Acting Rich and Start Living Like a Real Millionaire. Some of the data points will be a bit outdated since the retail landscape from 2009 looks different today. However, I still feel like a lot of the information will still be relevant. The first lifestyle spending habit of actual millionaires we want to tackle is clothes. You know that old saying, the clothes makes the man? Thus, we naturally come to believe that someone wearing a $5,000 Tom Ford suit or a $8,000 Prada heels is rich. I mean, if they weren't a millionaire, how could they come to afford such luxury goods, right? The reality is a lot more sobering. Most millionaires don't dress to look rich. Rather, they dress for practicality. They focus on function and durability, not what the fashionista dictates or the latest marketing ads try to convince. Don't be shocked by this list, but here are the top 5 stores patronized by the millionaire men for clothes in Dr. Thomas Stanley survey. Number 1, Nordstrom at 39% of participants. Number 2, Macy's at 27%. Number 3, Kohl's at 22%. Number 4, Target at 22%. And number 5, Costco at 21%. Yes, you heard me right. Costco made the list. Alright, you might be thinking, most men don't have good fashion taste anyways. So maybe female millionaires might have a higher taste when it comes to fashion. Here's the list of top 5 stores millionaire females patronize for their clothes shopping. Number 1, Ann Taylor at 48% of participants. Number 2, Nordstrom at 45%. Number 3, Macy's at 44%. Number 4, Target at 40%. Number 5, TJ Maxx at 34%. Costco didn't make the cut here, but guess who did? TJ Maxx, the budget retailer your mom likely loves to shop at. Don't fall for the hype that if you're wealthy, you must dress in high-end clothes. Worse yet, don't believe that someone wearing designer clothes and luxury accessories are truly wealthy. Someone wearing super high-end brands just shows that they love high-end brands. Nothing more. It has no correlation to a person's actual wealth. The second lifestyle spending habit of actual millionaires we want to tackle is cars. Nothing else comes close to signaling someone's supposed wealth than a car he or she drives. You see someone pull up in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, and people automatically associate that person with words like, wow, he must be loaded, or wow, is she someone famous? Thus, we come to believe that if you're a millionaire, you must also drive a really fancy car. Maybe not a Ferrari, but how about high-end models like Porsche, Audi, or BMW? Well, according to Dr. Thomas Stanley's survey, the most popular car model of millionaires is this, a Toyota. Yes, that's right, not Bentley, not Mercedes, and not even Volvo. It is one of the most ordinary cars you can think of, a Toyota. And of that, the most popular models were these, Camry, Avalon, and the Highlander, the boringest of them all. So the question you might be asking is this, if real millionaires aren't the ones driving all these fancy cars on the road, who is? Non-millionaires. In America, 86% of all prestige and luxury makes of motor vehicles are driven by non-millionaires. People who may not have actual wealth, but want to be perceived as having wealth. Whether because they believe this will actually make them wealthy one day, or just happy. I mean, nothing can make a person feel like somebody quicker than a car. Whatever the reason, the fact is that the correlation between a person's car and his or her actual wealth is weak, if not actually the other way. More ordinary a person's car, a good probability that he or she has better finances. Alright, so if millionaires aren't spending a lot of money on cars and clothes, what could it be? Homes? Thus, the third lifestyle spending habit of actual millionaires we want to tackle is homes. Who doesn't like to drive around fancy neighborhoods and check out multi-million-dollar mansions? I mean, I sure do. Near where I live, one of the places that my family loves to frequent is a place called the Huntington Library. It's an art museum and botanical gardens established by a very wealthy individual, of course, named Mr. Huntington over 100 years ago. Though the garden is lovely, I'm always fascinated by the homes that surround it. The library sits inside a small residential city called San Marino, considered one of the wealthiest and exclusive neighborhoods in the nation. With median home prices close to $3 million, it has definitely earned that title. And driving around in my stock model Nissan Leaf with my wife and the kids, I can't help but be awed by so much wealth. I'm thinking everyone living in these homes must be deca millionaires for sure. Though I'll never know the true net worth of individuals living in these specific homes, I can reference Dr. Thomas Stanley's data to see how close I am. Based on the average net worth of individuals, the data breaks down as the following. Of millionaires with an average net worth of $1.5 million, the average home value of their primary residence is $400,000. Of millionaires with an average net worth of close to $7 million, the average home value of their primary residence is $1 million. And of millionaires with an average net worth of close to $60 million, the average home value of their primary residence is $2.7 million. Now yes, we're using 2007 data here, so home value and net worth are a bit outdated. But I still think it's a useful data point because while the home prices have increased with inflation, so has a net worth. Going back to my recent drive around San Marino, I mentioned earlier that the median home in that neighborhood is close to $3 million. So if I am to assume the average net worth of individuals living in a $3 million home based on Dr. Thomas Stanley's data, the residents should have a net worth well over $60 million, right? But now I'm having a bit of a hard time believing that about everyone living in San Marino. I'm sure they have some money, but $60 million? Contrary to popular beliefs, what the data actually shows is that actual millionaires were able to achieve their wealth because they kept their housing prices moderate. The lowest group of millionaires with net worth around $1.5 million live in a home worth around $400,000. If I adjust that for inflation, I get around $600,000. An expensive home, but not a multi-million-dollar home we imagine all millionaires to be living in, right? Alright, we're batting 0 out of 3 so far. No fancy clothes, no luxury cars, and no multi-million-dollar homes. So maybe toys? The fourth lifestyle spending habit of actual millionaires we want to tackle is big-ticket toys. Specifically, boats. You know the one where we see beautiful, fancy people partying and enjoying themselves? What do you think? If you said no, you are correct. The majority of millionaires in America have never ever owned a boat or a yacht. No sailboat, trawler, or a fishing vessel. Not even a small raft. What is even more sobering is that of the millionaires who did actually purchase a boat, most bought one, sold it, and never bought another one again. They realized soon after buying a boat that they found little or no satisfaction from owning and operating a boat. They were initially seduced by the seemingly high level of happiness demonstrated by the people they met at boat shows. But after experiencing it for themselves, they soon realized it wasn't for them. Okay, so if not boats, what next? The number 5 lifestyle spending habit of actual millionaires we want to tackle is vacation homes. Since actual millionaires aren't spending money on fancy boats, they must be buying up all those vacation properties, right? But as you guessed it, another big no here. Majority of millionaires never owned a vacation home, beach bungalow, or a mountain cabin. Not even a tree hut in the forest. The millionaires surveyed believe that owning a vacation home would restrict their lifestyle choices because they would feel obligated to spend time in that property to maximize its value. True millionaires operate their household like a highly productive business. They don't like to have assets that aren't being utilized to their maximum capacity. So if millionaires aren't the ones buying up all these vacation homes out there, you might be wondering, who is? Most vacation homes are actually purchased by the not really wealthy. By those who want to emulate the behavior of those who are already wealthy with fancy toys like a vacation home. Well, the sad fact is that they're mimicking the wrong behavior. The number 6 lifestyle spending habit of actual millionaires we want to tackle is on wines. This is another image we have of the wealthy, drinking their fancy wines and talking about you know what, world politics and latest socialite gossip. But guess how much the median price paid for a bottle of wine by an actual millionaire is? $13. Yes, you heard me right. I said $13. And that image of millionaires having a big wine cellar? It's wrong. Most millionaires usually go out and buy wine when hosting events. Probably from Trader Joe's or Costco. They don't carry inventory like what some movies make it out to be. Okay, so if not wine, how about food? The number 7 lifestyle spending habit of actual millionaires we want to tackle is how much they pay eating out. I'm sure they dine out at top-rated, most expensive restaurants, right? Guess what the median price they paid for at their favorite restaurant is? $400? Maybe $250. How about try $20? Alright, this is 2007, so let's add some inflation. Let's say $29. It's not pennies, but we aren't talking about gourmet meals. I mean, how many of us paid more than $30 for a meal out this week? I sure have. If actual millionaires aren't spending more than $30 per meal, maybe I should think twice before paying more for mine, right? The number 8 lifestyle spending habit of actual millionaires we want to tackle is very close to home, and that is how much they spend on a haircut. If you watch any of my other videos, you know how much I value my hair. It's one category in my life I take extra care to splurge on. So when I found out the actual median price paid for by a millionaire for a haircut, I was a bit disturbed. $16. Yes, $16 is how much the average male millionaire spends on his haircut. I spend slightly more on mine. Actually, I lied. Multiple times more. But hey, you can't get everything perfect, right? Alright, so at this point, you're probably wondering, do these millionaires spend any money at all? They shop for clothes at Costco, drive a Toyota, live in a modest home, and drive a $13 wine. I mean, are they enjoying life at all? Interestingly, they do. Here are some of the most popular activities that actual millionaires indulge in. 1. 83% said visiting museums. So if we haven't been to one in a while, maybe time to stretch our minds with a visit to our local museum. Who knows, you might run into a few millionaires. 2. 75% said consulting tax experts. This doesn't sound like fun, but I'm assuming as you get wealthier, you need smart accountants to help you minimize your tax burden. 3. This is my favorite. 69% said vacationing overseas. Outside of reading about the world, nothing expands your mind quicker than actually visiting the world. So if you aspire to be a millionaire one day, stretch your worldview with that trip to Africa you always wanted. Of course, do it wisely so you aren't breaking the bank in the spirit of expanding your mind. Thank you guys for watching, and in the line of millionaire spending habits, if you'd like to learn more about how millionaires buy homes, please check out my video here. Until next time, all the best.